You can absolutely tell when someone doesn't have a life outside of work when they make a hobby out of making your life at work completely miserable. Because why are we acting like high school never ended when we are grown adults in the workplace? I don't know why, but they seem to hate it when you just show up, do your job, and go home. And I really think it's because they can't get a read on you. They can't see if you're a snitch. They can't see where your loyalties lie. They can't see if they are able to use you. And they will press you to see if they can trust you, manipulate you, get you to work unpaid overtime, and see if you are a team player in which you will basically be bleeding your life force away for a company that will drop you at any significant venture. Like they'll just throw you away at any freaking moment. Yet they expect complete loyalty out of you. And it's crazy how enraged they get when you simply just fulfill your job description and then go home and forget about work. Because nothing triggers a dysfunctional workplace more than simply doing what you're supposed to do, nothing more and nothing less. And I really honestly just don't even know why we can't just do our job, because the problem is never really the job. It's always about the people and the management and all the shenanigans on like the interactions between other people. Anyway, guys, my name is Shelby. If you want to support this channel, you can subscribe, check out the donation links below, support my art through my Instagram and Shopify, and like I said, all the links are in the description. So anyway, back to today's topic. I feel like this is not the same world that we went to work in 5 years ago. No one feels safe and secure at work anymore, so don't you dare, say it out loud or take your job for granted, because you're supposed to just grind and grin and bear it, because no one was prepared to be working indefinitely. They basically expect us to work until we drop now, until we're like 80 years old. And at what point is this ever going to end? I feel like even essential workers like nurses and doctors aren't safe anymore. AI is replacing everyone, so only the best of the best, or at least the manager's pet and the most popular, are going to be able to put food on the table in the next coming years. And regardless of what you do in terms of your job performance, they'll start to spread rumors about you if you don't participate in the reindeer games of the workplace. My mindset is literally just to fulfill my job description, not play those games, and go home. But then they find a way to manipulate information out of you when you do this, or look you up on social media and then wonder why you aren't friending them back on Facebook or whatever. And granted, I am in a season of unemployment in my life right now, but when I had a job, I tried to thrive at these jobs by going above and beyond, but for whatever reason, I'm always targeted, mobbed, and bullied by the other employees at the workplace. And I've literally spent 10 years trying to make this 9-to-5 employment thing work, but for whatever reason, it's just never enough for the employer. My worth has to come before my work. And I'm not saying that I have a 6-month plan or any offers in my inbox. My YouTube views are not doing as well as they were either. But I have to just try to figure out a way to be in alignment with myself, because I'm just not able to maintain employment, mostly due to the people and interpersonal issues that I seem to have in the workplace. Then there's this classic, we are a family at this company, which is code for a toxic workplace that will take you for granted and fire you at the drop of a hat. They're always looking for ways to label you, just like in high school, and once you're typecast by management, it's game over, because that is the only way they will ever see you, and anything you do outside of that will be reprimanded. And upper management is no help if your coworkers start to throw you under the bus, because it's all about your unwritten approval rating in the workplace, and if the majority of people don't like you, it's word over word, and you're basically screwed. So there's also this additional issue of being a woman, because if you reject the advances of senior employees or supervisors, you can kiss your job goodbye. And in all honesty, I think the same thing can happen to men in regards to advances from female management, because there's false accusation, keeping you out of the loop. Whatever they have to do to make you look bad, they will do if you don't stroke their ego and appease them. And if you reject them too directly, or don't play the will they won't they vibe, they will not give you any kind of advancement opportunities at all. They'll try to find ways to manipulate numbers to make it look like you're the reason for low production and for the reason that sales are down, and they will ruin you every single time you don't fit in. And if you give them the ick somehow, it's over as well, because if you're just creepy or antisocial or whatever they want to say, or you're just awkward, they won't tolerate it. I remember my employers always playing political mind games and punishing me for sitting on the sidelines when it came to the social chess game of the workplace. All I wanted to do was exactly what I was hired to do. And for some reason, this was just not enough. I would be sat down for being cold, aloof, or antisocial, when in reality I was just focused on doing the task at hand. And then when I would, apply feedback and switch it up and be a little more warm and open, they would accuse me of spending too much time with customers, or being too flirtatious with my male coworkers when I was literally just applying what they were saying. But no matter what I do, it seems that when management decides that they don't like you, they're going to misinterpret your behavior negatively no matter what you decide to do. And this is the main reason I haven't yet to hold another job in 6 months, not because I can't do the work, but because of the people. I've been accused of not being a team player because I don't participate in the water cooler talk and other shenanigans. I just feel like 15 an hour to break my ass and break my back isn't worth the mental health toll as long as my parents are willing to let me stay in their house. And workplaces are a prison without bars. I'm never the one benefiting from managerial favoritism. The gossiping, the competition, and the 30-minute lunch breaks are enough to drive anyone out the door, but you add on to this being a lone wolf or being neurodivergent and you can forget about it, because sticking to yourself and bothering no one ends up bothering everyone for some reason, and they will target you for not fitting into company culture if you mind your own damn business. These jobs don't even act like we're on the same team. They say we're a team, they say we're a family, which we all know is trash, and then as soon as you get there, it's survival of the fittest. And they're actively trying to vote you off the proverbial island like you're playing a game of Survivor. I feel like every day in the workplace feels like an elimination challenge on a reality TV show, because these jobs are so performative and it's not real life at all. It's like in the literal sense of the word, I don't know how I'm supposed to act for these jobs, and by that I mean I don't know how I'm supposed to perform an employable version of myself. I feel like you have to have an airtight alter ego just to survive corporate America, and no one handed me the script or the list of unwritten rules I'm just supposed to know, and I'm completely clueless, honestly. I know that you're never supposed to share personal information, life goals, aspirations, likes or dislikes, or anything about yourself at all at these jobs. Anything you say can and will be used against you by the Human Resource Department, and people will absolutely pretend to be your friend, but never mistake a coworker's interest in you as wanting to get to know you for real. They are only gathering information for their own gain to use against you in some way later, or spread rumors and use it to humiliate you. And your motto in the workplace should be last to clock in, first to clock out. And don't let them get their money's worth out of you, because your priority at work should be to guard your peace at all costs, because we all know that hard work is only rewarded with more hard work. It's difficult to mind your own business, especially when other female employees seem to only bond through building rapport, through gossip, shit-talking, and rumor milling. And they have expectations that you will join in, and when you don't or decide to remain neutral, you become the newest target of their forked tongues and wicked ways. And this is typically how I end up becoming a target, is because I just don't gossip about everyone else. And you become the default, de facto rumor mill target if you don't talk shit about everyone else. People will say, "You're so quiet. Why are you so quiet? It's difficult to get a read on you," as if like you want them to read your ass in the first place. Like, ma'am, I am not a book. Stay in your lane and do your job for real. Like, read your paperwork or something. Don't read me. They'll get mad at you for no reason if you don't talk a lot. They see it as a personal offense. I don't go to the Christmas parties or the corporate events or the happy hours because I literally just came to do my job and pay my bills and go home. But for some reason, this makes them view you as the opposition or better than them for just simply not being a good cultural fit, which is grounds for termination. And I never understood why other grown people treat the workplace like a playground or the middle school cafeteria, because we are adults. We all have bills to pay. We shouldn't have time to worry about someone else's personal business. There should be a time and a place for everything, but people think that working hours is an appropriate environment for talking shit and starting drama. I will never understand it. I just hate the drama and fake shit of the workplace. Some people never evolve past high school mentality, and it is just so messy and so immature. Being an introvert is a terrible trait to have according to most workplaces. They will project their own insecurities onto you, leave you there to prove yourself against false assumptions simply because you don't want to have side conversations and you don't want to share personal information. I just don't even want to be around people anymore. The jealousy and the fakeness is too much to handle. I don't know how to manage it in a way that doesn't result in me getting fired. And coping with other people takes all my energy. No matter what I do, I'm always being judged and end up the target of ridicule or harassment. Basic survival should not be this fucking difficult. And the reason why it's so fucking difficult isn't even because of the work. It's because it's dependent on popularity of all things, just to avoid the streets, which is crazy. Supervisors who don't like you will blame their lackluster performance on you just to get rid of you, and it almost always works against you. If you try to defend yourself at this point, it's almost always too late anyway. And forget reporting sexual harassment or discrimination in the workplace. They will do nothing, accuse you of causing problems for reporting it, and eventually get rid of you and not the perpetrator in order to, protect the company. If you aren't part of the in crowd, your career is dead in the water. As someone who has no idea how to be popular, this explains so much of my failures in terms of employment because it is always an interpersonal issue that ends my employment, never my performance. If you are simply unlikable, you will be labeled as difficult to work with, not a team player, and HR will be up your ass before you know it. Being difficult to work with is code for not being neurotypical or even asking too many questions. Supervisors will say it's okay to ask questions until you actually do, and then all of a sudden you are being insubordinate for questioning their authority when you're just asking for clarification on your job description. Nosy coworkers are intimidated by your silence and your peace because chaos is their norm, and your tranquility threatens the chaos that they are trying to cause. In threatening to end the chaos, you threaten the control that they have over you in the rest of the workplace. If they can't control and manipulate you directly, they will impact the way other people see you. The smear campaign is a classic move after they can't affect you by trying to upend you any other way. Once everyone is turned against you, there isn't much you can do except start looking for a new place to work because at that point, like I said before, it's word over word. And if you disclose that you have a disability or need accommodations all of a sudden, your hours will be cut mysteriously. There is no such thing as an equal opportunity employer. They will always go with the person who doesn't have extra support needs over you every single day of the week. And it's always the most narcissistic idiots who end up in charge because everyone has the experience of taking orders from someone who is not as smart as they are. Good people get left behind at work just like every other area of life. Corporate America is just full of adults who never mentally graduated high school. Life after high school is still high school. I thought that once I graduated I wouldn't have to worry about popularity contests anymore. Of course I was dead wrong, obviously. And now your popularity becomes a matter of life and death and whether or not you eat or the lights stay on. I always get labeled as the weird one or the antisocial one in any group setting because I do my own thing and refuse to conform to whatever arbitrary standard the group has decided to set. At the end of the day, they will take issue with you no matter how you decide to behave if they don't like you. You are damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, and you might as well guard your peace at any cost because these corporate bloodsuckers will do whatever it takes to take that away from you. I seriously believe that demonic attachments are real. I seriously believe that if you're neurodivergent, you honestly just become a targeted individual in general in life, and they are threatened by your peace and want to do everything they can to attach the energetic parasites that are attached to them onto you instead. It's like this disgusting game of pass the parasite. There is no more lethal combination than being excellent at what you do and staying in your own lane and avoiding drama. This is literally the fastest way to be thrown under the bus and targeted by jealous senior employees because they say that you're not supposed to outshine the master, but apparently if you ignore them by minding your own frickin' business, this is even worse. I literally don't even know what I'm supposed to do to please everyone enough in order to maintain employment. It's just so baffling that people can't just have mature and drama-free attitude at work. People gotta bring their own egos and then create drama to assert their egos and feel like they're winning or superior against you. The level of insecurity and immaturity is absolutely unreal. They're afraid of your professionalism because they think that it means you're going to take their position eventually. Silence is golden. People hate silence. The more you are silent, the more loud they will become. It's crazy because they're willing to let the entire company fail over petty work drama between subordinates, co-workers, which causes the good workers to leave. They purposely hire problem workers and refuse to fire them because it creates chaos and helps them forget about how boring and nihilistic their freaking lives are. It's not even about the numbers. Let's not forget about the way they de-incentivize hard work by rewarding you with more hard work for the same amount of pay. It's crazy how clueless the employers are and how ready they are to accept high turnover rather than cultivating existing talent. It's like this everywhere, not just work. Everyone wants to figure out who you are, what you're about, what category to put you in, what you are, and place them in their self-created hierarchy in their brain. To know if you're above them or below them in the social hierarchy, so they know whether or not they can treat you like shit and get away with it, or if they have to perform a deferential, status ritual because you're on in the higher end of the hierarchy than they are. And I've had coworkers physically try to fight me at these low-level employment opportunities because I refuse to react to their BS, so they continue to escalate until an altercation is now unavoidable. They mistake your peace for privilege, when in reality you probably have more problems than they do, And a lot of people enjoy chaos and controversy. It has to do with the way they were raised and their upbringing. These are just low lives. They can exist at any socioeconomic status. You have dramatic people that are rich. You have dramatic people that are poor. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how much they're making. When you try to be that kind of worker who goes to work, does your job, and then goes home, it's virtually impossible because there's just too many of these busybodies and Karens gossiping and trying to get things out of you or from you. One way or the other, they will get your personal details, and I don't know how to really even avoid it. I mind my own business. I say to myself, I don't complain. I just smile and I keep pushing. I work just enough to not stand out and not overperform. I'll act dumb as a board because I don't want to be rewarded with more hard work. And the secret is to just be social enough not to draw suspicion. Go through the rapport building rituals, but only as much as necessary in order to not be targeted, and then go home and completely disconnect from all the bullshit. The worst part of work has never been the job itself. It's the people. It's always your coworkers that make or break your sanity at the job, and there's very little you can do to control the way that they see or treat you. Happy hour is literally just an information gathering ritual to get information out of you and see where your loyalties lie or if they can get in your pants or not. And it's also fake, and I hate that so many companies will punish you for refusing to go to these things. I'm just not built for this corporate culture. I can do the job all day long. It doesn't matter what I get hired for. If I get hired for, obviously I have the credentials to do it. It's just fitting in that seems to screw me over every single time. And it's just not fair that being a misfit negatively impacts your freaking survival on planet Earth. Why do we have to always fit in and conform in order to eat? It's just complete bullshit. So let me know in the comments your own experiences with toxic workplace environments, how not being able to fit in has affected you. And you guys can support my channel with the links below or by subscribing and engaging in the conversation. And once again, thank you guys. My name is Shelby. I exist and I make stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.